Well, what's going on, everybody? WakoBako here, joined again with AverageStatus.
Can't keep me away.
I know, man. Well, you got so much impressive stuff, dude. Like, I gotta showcase it somehow. I mean, watch the next video on DotSlashFrag. He's like, all right, so here's my whole collection. Like, just completely dethrone my thunder.
By the way, don't go check out WakoBako.
Go ahead and subscribe to that other channel. So today we're gonna show the second half of this binder. If you guys saw the first video, showed off all of his Pokemon stuff, sorry. Yep. I'll drop that video at the very end of this so you can check that out. But now we're going through all his Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Yep.
Super impressive. We were kind of talking about it before we started recording. There's really no method to the madness for some of this stuff, especially because some is sleeved and some's not. But we'll go through it. We'll talk about it. And there's some really awesome stuff. So if you are a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, in the TCG or the anime itself, you're going to enjoy this. So.
Yep.
All right.
And it was funny because, like, my process with Pokemon, like, I have memories of Pokemon. I understood Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh, I have no memories, and I have no idea what the rarities are on these cards. I don't even understand these cards. Like, I understand how to play them.
Right.
I don't understand the rare. Like, I see some have silver text.
Right.
Some have like a rainbow text and hollows.
The rarity for me was always so confusing because, like, at one point, the gold text was, like, the top. It was, like,
I thought that's what it was, yeah, right?
And then they started coming out with the, like, the rainbowish text, which I think is higher than that now.
Yep.
And then the other thing, too, is you'll see on some of, like, the regular cards, you'll see it just has, like, the regular white text.
Yep.
And then some of them have black text.
Yep.
And then you start to get into, like, non-hollows, but they'll have like silver text.
Yeah, I have some of those in there.
If anyone knows anything about Yu-Gi-Oh rarity, go ahead and blow us up in the comments.
Wild.
But
it's like a Wild Wild West sort of thing.
It's so insane because there's so many different ones on top of the different types of all of them and like the different. So like you have your fusions and you have your effect and your regulars.
Yep.
It's insane.
And I can understand that like 13 or 14-year-old me also didn't understand it because this binder has no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
You'll see this first page. I like this first page. There's a lot of shiny stuff on here. There's a lot of pretty cards.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll flip through. We get to the second page. I can see I like sorted did like traps here.
Right.
With I think these were promo cards, which apparently it made sense to put with traps.
Yeah, two really good dragons.
And like okay, so and then we get to these that have sleeves on them. I don't know why these have sleeves on them.
And you can tell how long they've been in the sleeves.
Yeah, look how
just
rough.
From like the ripple effect.
Yep.
Exchange was such a great card.
Yep.
I actually have just like a junk deck that anytime I go visit my brother, his stepkids still play Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'll go down there and I told him, I was like, hey, we're only using old school cards. I don't want any of this new stuff or like the XYZ or synchro crap. Just we're playing OG when we're not playing. So I'll bring my fold-out mat with me and everything. It's a really fun time.
I used to run a Salamandra deck, so it was just all fires. And it was just like the weakest fires that I could chug out quick, and then I just attach like two of these to one of them.
That and Graceful Dice was always a great card to have.
Yeah, I actually think a lot of this front page was in some of my decks. Maybe that's why they were sleeved.
Okay.
Like even though I have a sleeved acid trap there, but like it's not. I got three there that aren't. Like this is my favorite acid trap hole.
I guess so.
You're not a true Yu-Gi-Oh fan if you don't have a page of Blue Eyes and Dark Magician.
Those hitters, they're absolutely amazing. And then the centerpiece being the Japanese alternate art of Dark Magician. Absolutely amazing.
Had to do it to him.
Yeah.
We got our Summon Skull at the end because that was Yu-Gi Boys.
Oh yeah.
We got the Red Eyes Black Dragons, which I had some on the front page of the alternate arts.
You got another Japanese one down here. I've actually never seen that artwork before. Like, I have no idea what that is.
I don't even know what card that is. It's like Toon Cannons. I had a bunch of Toon cards. I ran a Toon deck for a while, and because it was super trolly.
Right.
It had like some function to where like you couldn't attack them or they couldn't take damage, and they also couldn't be blocked.
Yeah, so something along the lines where it was like when it was off of your turn, they couldn't be directly attacked. And then I think the player that had Toon World had to give up life points per turn.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much invincible.
Yeah.
And then every Toon monster had their own effects and abilities as well. So.
Yeah, I had that. You saw Toon Blue Eyes.
Right.
I ran a Toon deck just for trolling at one point.
Nice. And then the spell and trap cards that you have are, again, it's stuff that you've seen in the anime, but like they're so playable. Like Delinquent Duo, they actually banned it for a while because of how strong that card was. It's just it was a monster to play against.
I have a bunch of Japanese cards in here too that I have no idea where they came from. Apparently, I just bought some Japanese packs at one point.
That's amazing. Lord of D, I love playing that card, especially with Flu to summoning dragon.
Yep.
Because you play that with a bunch of blue eyes or any dragons, and you could just pull out 2 dragons right away, and you could just steamroll anybody.
Yep. Yeah, I role play as Lord of D in the bedroom sometimes. I try to get my girlfriend to call me, and she won't. I'm like, come on, I'm a 4-star. You can summon me without having to sacrifice.
That's amazing.
She doesn't get it.
Good old Penguin Soldier. That was a card that like you hated seeing when someone would flip it because you're like, oh, here we go.
Here's on with the bullshit.
Same thing with Grave Robber. I always like Grave Robber because of its grin. Even in the anime when they play it out and they'd summon it, he just had that like sinister grin on his face.
It's such an awesome artwork too on him. We got Soul Exchange.
Right, bunch of flutes, bunch of Soul Exchange. Black Illusion Ritual, man, always
I
nice
used that because I had. Oh, sorry, Pokemon. Get those out of here. Because I had the Thousand Eyes Restrict, and I also had the what's the ritual of that one?
Yeah, Black Luster Soldier.
Yeah, there you go. Relinquished.
Oh yeah.
That was what it was. And like I would run a Relinquished with the Thousand Eyes Restrict in my deck too. Damn. I just piecing together. Like I have some memories. They're wild.
Right,
but
like Japanese Dark Magician Girl.
Yup. This is like my pretty girl page apparently because I had Harpy Sister, I had Dark Magician Girl, Mystic Elf, Fire Princess, Dude, Celtic Guardian.
Maha Vilo, I loved playing that card, especially for its effect.
I don't even know what it does.
So it says, in addition to effects of the equipped cards, the attack of this monster increases by 500 per equipped card. So,
this is equipment
so
card.
even if you had like an equipped card, they gave you 500 attack. You got another 500 for that, and then if you equipped more, it just made it so strong for a 4-star card.
That actually makes sense. I think I did run him in my Fire Salamandrake deck.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, good old Gearfried.
I think that's what a lot of these are organized at was my decks.
Gotcha.
Like whenever I'd break down my decks, I just threw them all in here real quick. I had no rhyme or reason like I did with Pokemon. Like this is where we get to like the confusion. So you got silver text on regular cards.
Right.
That means rare or uncommon?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm gonna say silver text is probably uncommon.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know because like I said because then you have that and then it goes into like the hollow cards and just like where do you differentiate like I don't know
which one's better a silver text regular or a hollow no silver text?
That's
like,
a great question.
Which one is better?
Yeah, just a lot of really good cards here and again a lot of the stuff is really really old like. The hand card was always a good one to play.
Yeah, most of these are from first set. Like that's when I got most of them. I got a misprint Mass Sorcerer, didn't have a title on it.
That's amazing, and it's a first edition.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't see stuff like that, so that's absolutely amazing.
Nope.
That's sick.
Come through. We got some more boys up in here.
Shadow Ghoul is always fun to play.
Yep. You're seeing a lot of copies.
Oh yeah.
Look, I almost did a full page of traps. This almost made sense.
Nice. Manga Rerun, that was another good one.
He's another tune.
But see, and that's the thing too, like especially so did you used to like you played, right?
Yeah, I played a lot.
When you played, what was the deck limit when you played?
I think it was 45 minimum, right?
Yeah. So like when I used to play it was 45 minimum but max at 60. And then you could have a side deck that could have like up to 10 cards that you could kind of swap in and out with.
Okay. I didn't remember. All I remember was that there was a 45 minimum. I think I ran 45 because it just made sense.
Right. And then I think the only other major rule was you couldn't have more than 2 or 3 of the same card.
Yeah.
Especially for like stuff like Graceful Charity, where like you can keep drawing cards from your deck. They wanted to restrict that as much as possible.
Like what's the one Cyber Jar? I think was one of the trolley cards.
Yeah. But now if you like look at how much the rules have changed now, they've really hammered down on like what cards are like actually playable. The ban list keeps growing every single year. But again, I mean, there's so many other like new themed cards and like all these different effects and stuff. It's just they went completely insane with it. Like, that's why I like these older cards because it was simpler, but there's still so many mechanics and like functionality that it can be very technical, and that's what I liked about this.
Yeah, that's why I think that's why I originated in Pokemon because it was simplistic and it was easy to grasp. It was a nice starter TCG.
Right.
And I rolled into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it added complexity to the game.
Right.
And I loved that about it. And plus, if you watch the anime and then roll into the TCG, you'll have no fucking idea what's happening.
Right. Some of the stuff they pulled into the TCG was like, they can't do that. Yeah, the whole first season, there was no sacrificing.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, Blue Eyes.
I'm just gonna play Blue Eyes.
You have to give away 2 cards, right? You can't just throw that out there.
Or like the episodes where the cards would actually be physical creatures. So like, I'm gonna use my catapult turtle to shoot my horseman into the sky. Right. Flying dragon.
Dude, you can't do that.
That's what? That makes no sense.
Or just like some of the additional effects they put on stuff is like, that's not how that works.
That's not even what that card does.
It felt like they were mixing like Pokemon-esque stuff where they had like elements that were like weak against other stuff. It's like, that's not how it works. I think
they were trying to do like a Yu-Gi-Oh anime, but at some point they were like, fuck the cards, dude. The cards don't matter that much.
Right.
The cards second place the anime.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we'll roll through.
Oh, yeah. Good old
all magics. Look at that, all magics. I did something right.
Nice. This one here, I really liked it, but one of its effects was weird. So like, if it got discarded, you could bring it back out, but it either went to like immediately to the top of your deck, so you just be like redrawing that over and over and over again. Yeah, it was super weird. Infinite cards was great to play, but you know, it was kind of a, I don't know, it was like a double-edged sword almost, because you could have unlimited cards in your hand, but then some cards like would hinder you for having extra in your hand.
Yeah.
The original rules and like how they built these cards worked really well, but don't really flow with how things are now, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Like, it felt like the first initial set of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was just so much chaos.
And then there's a lot of overpowered stuff.
Yeah. There's just so much that, like, there's chaos everywhere. And then you get into these new sets where they try to, like, maintain the chaos and, like, batches. So, like, now there's still, like, some form of chaos, but it's not, like, so reckless. It's, like, there's some clarity to it.
But, like, in decks now, you see a lot more, like, just from the research I've done, you see a lot more people using almost identical decks because it's just how the meta works or how the game currently works. Where here in these older sets, they can be played so many different ways, and you had so much variety where like Pot of Greed, it was almost a must-have. But then just like learning different ways to play with it and like having it in your deck.
Yep.
It was, I don't know.
Yeah, Pot of Greed was my favorites. I love the artwork on it. And I love it's just a simple draw two. It's just a bill from Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a draw two. But it's so great for a 45 card deck to be able to have this as a filler card and be able to draw 2 off of it. So you're siphoning through your cards so quickly.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Good old polymerization.
There's my baby.
And the defusion. Yeah, Toon World was amazing. Worlds. Black Pennant, again, another great equip card there.
Yep. Man. Keep it rolling.
Graceful Charity, again, another gem.
Every card here was in my deck at one point. I had a deck with every single one of these in it.
Nice.
Because I remember all of these cards specifically.
Griffin Wing was another great one to play.
I loved Barrel Behind the Door. I don't even remember what it does now, but I remember it being super lousy.
Confiscation, man, just so many great cards. Good old Scapegoat. That one was such a good one to play. Like you throw that out there, like cool. I
got time,
right? Sort of Revealing Light. You had to have that. Like,
yep.
Same thing with Heavy Storm. It was just a must-have.
And I think I showed you these off camera, but I got 2 of these. So it's Dark Assassin is what the card is.
Yep.
I got a misprint where it's Dark Assailant, and I have no idea where I got this from or how it came about. It literally looks like it went through a freaking meat grinder to get to me.
Yeah.
It's actually on the back page also.
That card's definitely taking some wear.
Yeah. But it's a misprint on the name alone. Like, everything else on the card is accurate.
The only thing I could think of was maybe, like, because I think this was the original. I think maybe at some point they had, like, rechanged the wording. So, like, kind of like with Pokemon cards where they did reprints or, like, they had banned cards they had to reissue. That's the only thing I could think of it was like a reissue.
I actually know what the problem was whenever the game came out, they had a PG-13 rating on it, and they couldn't use ass twice in one card. They could only use it once, so they had to find a workaround on that.
Gotcha. But still, that's awesome to have both of those.
Yeah. I got my fusion page. Metal Dragon, it never made any sense to me. Like, he's a train? He's a train that became a dragon or something?
Dude, hold on. Look at the back of this card here. Just
what even is that?
That is a Heavy Storm.
Heavy Storm. Okay.
It definitely lived through a
makes
Heavy
sense.
Storm.
No, it made it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it just caught my eye. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on.
As you can tell, I also heavily use my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah. And, you know, looking at this stuff here, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards are, like, the same because we never use sleeves for any of this stuff.
No.
And the stuff you did have sleeves was like well after the fact.
Yeah.
So your cards were clearly played, and then you put them in sleeves. Where now it's just like if you're gonna play, that thing goes in a sleeve
instantly.
And then,
yeah,
right.
Instantly.
It's almost like when you open up new stuff, you have sleeves on standby. Yep. You're just like, all right, goes
your
right
entire deck is sleeved.
Right.
Back then we didn't have sleeves; we just rolled with it.
Oh yeah.
And
good old Dark Elf and the Reaper of the cards.
Yup. More manga writer.
It's still funny to see just like you're randomly sprinkled in Japanese cards.
Yeah, just randomly in there. It's flavor.
Right.
There it is. There's my baby. Cyberjar.
That and Giant Germ.
There's my second pot of greed.
Nice.
Had to have it. Japanese. I have no idea what that card is. Guys, comment. Let us know what that is. Right. I have no idea what that is. Oh, the tunes.
Yeah, so see, you had a bunch of Japanese tunes.
Yep, my third tune world.
Yeah, and then you have the regular Blue Eyes tune, and then you have the hollow one up front.
Yep, have the hollow one up front. So I ran 2. Man. And then just some commons.
This is one of my favorite cards to play.
It's
especially because
stall,
it's a 1 sacrifice for a 3K defense.
Yeah.
I would always hope that I could pull that early game because I'm like, okay, my defense is good for a long time.
Build.
Right, now you can be like, all right, try and pull those Lord of D's and like get those some of those dragons out there. It was just such a good card for being 1 sacrifice.
Yep. It's wild. A 3,000 defense.
Yeah. Very few cards at that time could even deal that much damage.
Yeah.
And then even if you pull the Blue Eyes, it's just going to butt heads and nothing happens.
Yeah. That's what's wild about it is like Blue Eyes is like seen as this huge card for having 3,000 attack, and Labyrinth Wall gets no love for having 3,000 defense.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man.
It's literally like, all right, if you need an early game defense, go ahead and draw it if you can, and then it lasted because, like I said, unless you had something high end with an equipped card on it, you couldn't take that thing down unless you had a spell or a trap.
Yeah, it's rough. It is rough when you see a Labyrinth flipped over.
Now another good play with that is to play Sword and Shield with the spell card because it flips the attack and defense. So
wouldn't that kill it?
No, because
it had 0 defense.
Well, if you left in defense mode, yes. But let's say you switch it to attack mode and then played Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Then you get all that attack you can play at that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably gonna get wrecked the following turn when it switches back over. Yeah. But hey, you have 1 turn of 3K attack.
3K swinging, for 1 sacrifice.
Yeah, and going from defense to that kind of heat, that's it's pretty strong.
That is rough.
Flame
There's
Champion.
another one for you.
Nice. Steel Ogre Grotto.
This is the only 2 pages that I put front to back for no reason.
Right. Flame Champion. I love the artwork on that card.
That's what I'm saying. I liked the Yu-Gi-Oh cards because of the artwork. Like, the artwork is so original. I don't see this kind of style anywhere else.
And the names were so funny. Like, especially if you look at some of the stuff now, the names are just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they went a name generator and they're like, all right, we haven't come up with this one yet. Throw it on a card. Like this, like Steel Ogre Grotto #2.
Number 2, Mystical Sheet 2.
Right.
It is hilarious. Some of them just make no sense. You can tell like they tried to like bring it over from Japanese maybe, and it just didn't translate well.
Yeah, and that's the thing you have to keep in mind too. Like when these came out on the Japanese side, their names are completely different sometimes from the English.
And they made sense.
Then you have the slot machine card.
You gotta have them.
Good old Curse of Dragon, but nice. Yeah. An awesome collection. Again, a lot of iconic cards that you've seen on the anime, or if you played the TCG when you were younger, you recognize this stuff. And like I said, I mean, it's still stuff that I could see you making a deck out of and playing with now.
Messing around with.
Absolutely amazing. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Again, this is the second half of the binder. In a couple seconds, you'll see the thing pop up on the screen to watch the first half, where it has all the awesome Pokemon stuff. Average Status, thanks for coming by again. And, what a binder, dude. Like,
It's a trip.
It's so impressive, and hopefully you keep it safe and safeguarded, for another 20 years, and we'll have to sit down again and see. Do not lose this binder.
Stay for the 20th anniversary of the channel when we go over the binder again.
That would be amazing. Go check out DotSlashFrag on YouTube, and I almost said Instagram. I mean, I know you have an Instagram, but
I actually don't. But our DotSlashFrag does.
Right, and go check them out on Twitch. Make sure you drop a sub, and then if you can, sub to their Twitch channel and set the notifications up. They're always putting out content, and it's always a good time. You'll find me playing with them as well. You'll have to figure out what it is because I don't use the same gamer tag. You'll recognize the voice.
Yeah, but, you got to go by the voice.
Right. That's gonna do it for this one, guys. I'm WakoBako. Take it easy.
Bye bye.